Welcome back to another episode in Road to 7,000 Gamer Score. This is Sacred Icon and it will be the last full mission video that I'm doing. This is for a couple of reasons, but mainly time constraints, the ability to actually house all of my recorded data, a lot of my data being recorded and then being corrupted somehow, and then not having the time to go back and re-record said lost footage. This is the last full mission I did manage to record before I lost all of my files, so I'm going to do this last one and then we'll move on to more specific achievement content and overall campaigns heading towards, say, legendary difficulty like I was in this one, for example. We're going to cover all of the collectibles in this video for Sacred Icon, and I'm also going to show you a few things that I didn't do but I should have that would have made the level a little bit easier. The three collectibles that are in this mission are one of each type, so we have a toy, we have a skull, and then we have a terminal. They're actually found in that order as well. This means you'll make progression towards all three of the overall collectible achievements on Sacred Icon. The first of which is the Arbiter Toy. As soon as you come into the first room before one of the longer light bridges, you need to jump onto this little platform thing here and perform a grenade jump up onto the ledge to your left hand side. The Arbiter Toy will be in one of these little alcoves. It's actually the one which is right on the end on the left hand side. Just a little reminder, you will need to be in anniversary graphics to see this, as these were added in during the anniversary edition. This will unlock the Will of the Prophets achievement for 5 gamer score and 0.43% unlock rate. This next section I'm about to show is where generally you would face off against an Enforcer Sentinel. I actually did do this section normally, which means that I destroyed the Enforcer Sentinel and then went around and unhinged all of the platform restraints. You don't actually have to do this. If you run down to that area below where the Enforcer Sentinel is at the moment, stay in the underneath part of the platform, you can actually shoot all of the restraints off and then the Enforcer Sentinel will essentially self-destruct. While I know they're not the most difficult enemies in the game, and on Legendary they're not actually that difficult to defeat because you can hide away from a lot of their attacks and you can get them down to about a third of their health just by shooting around their shields instead of having to go behind them. However, if you're already low on ammo, you've been in a level for a long time, you're frustrated, it is something that you can do to skip this part. The next level down, when you're in the first truly tight space with the flood, I found very frustrating. It was getting to a point where there was just too many enemies around. They were all pushing me at the same time. It felt like you couldn't get any reprieve from them at all. So I thought I would try and go into one of the areas where the flood were actually coming from, which is this sort of like inner ledge part. There is one on the other side there as well, which you can see, but it kind of makes them come in single file. They'll all still try and attack you, but they'll all jump up sort of one at a time, and if you've still got your shotgun from a little bit further down the corridor, then this can make it slightly more bearable. It's still not easy by any means, but definitely better than trying to rush forward. Another couple of floors down is where we'll find the second collectible of this mission, which is the skull. This one is the Mythic Skull, which increases all enemy health, I would say substantially. You can see where we need to go just in front of me here. There's like a stack of boxes in the center of the room. You'll know that you've came to this room because it's filled with flood fog, which is that sort of green misty thing you can see hanging around in the air. And much like the Arbiter Toy, this one is in the very back, it's in the very end little alcove here. You can see the skull floating in the middle of the air. And collecting this will earn you the Skull Taker Mythic achievement for 5 gamer score and 0.38% unlock rate. From now until the last area of the game, you can basically just run past the majority, if not all, of the enemies. You might have to kill one or two here and there that are blocking your path. These ones, they were just swarming me because I'd been up here for a little bit of length of time. As you can see, I actually died as well. However, that gave me the opportunity to then just run past everybody, so I'm kind of glad that I did. The next area that we're running to now actually holds the third and final collectible of the mission, which is the terminal. You can see that I am basically just able to walk through this section. I might have to turn around and kill a few enemies, but other than that, it is basically a straight shot through to the next place. I've always loved the signature music of the flood, that sort of choir that they have in the background. I found it really creepy as a kid.
Negative, ma'am. They are not Covenant. Cover that doorway!
It's just a really great way to build the atmosphere and really, make you feel like you are in this desperate situation against this almost inconceivable foe. The terminal is actually on the right hand side as you drop down into this next area. Now I couldn't remember where it was at all, so you'll see me looking around for it for a bit. But if you turn around towards the area that you've just dropped down from, it's actually on one of the sort of outward facing separator walls, which you'll see in a second. And again, just like the Arbiter Toy, this is one that was added in during the anniversary upgrade, so you will need to be in anniversary graphics in order to see this. And then we come into the final area of this mission on Sacred Icon, which is the sort of last stand against the Flood with the Shipmaster and a few elites. The waves of enemies here can seem a bit relentless. You think that you're done with them all, but then another lot will come either from the tunnel or they'll come down from one of the tops of the buildings where you can see around you here. The best thing that you can do is keep moving. The Shipmaster normally drops onto one of the turrets, as do one of the other elites, and they tend to take a lot of the aggravation from the Flood, so you can skirt around them. If you've still got the shotgun, great. If not, I'm pretty sure there is one lying on the ground here somewhere as well. This is actually one of the shorter missions on Halo 2 Legendary for me. I managed to get it, I think, by the time it actually closes, it's around 45 minutes, maybe 46. Which, compared to some of the other missions, when I say some of, I mean the vast majority, if not all of the other missions, were taking me upwards of an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, even sometimes up to 2 hours. No skips or anything were used, obviously, for the times that I've just given you, but I played all of these naturally. It was the first time I've actually played Halo 2 Legendary since, God, I had the original one, which would have been when I was maybe 13. However, when I do go through this on my lasso run, I will be using every skip humanly possible, every glitch you can think of, anything that's going to make my life even remotely easier, I will be using. And if that makes me a coward and less of a man, then so be it. Once you get down to these last few enemies, you probably will have to go searching for the remaining ones. The infection forms, they tend to get either stuck on things or the AI just doesn't allow them to jump down from things. I'm not really too sure which one it is, but they will definitely be the ones that are left that you have to go searching for. I've sped this next part up just so you don't have to physically watch me go and try and find all of the missing enemies. Some of them are still on their way into the middle like the combat forms, but there's only a couple. One thing I will say is that the combat forms in Halo 2, especially on Legendary, are absolute bullet sponges. I don't know what they were thinking. I will talk about this more on my Halo 2 Legendary overall video, but it's just incredibly frustrating. And that brings us to the end of Sacred Icon on Legendary. Now, we've covered all of the collectibles. I don't have any more individual missions coming up. As I mentioned, there will just be a Legendary overall video, which I'll be working on over the next week or so. Until then, I would love to know if there's any specific achievements that you would all like to see me attempt to get. Ones I may already be in progress of doing, but if there's any ones specifically that you want to see, please just let me know in the comments. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and remember, don't do anything the Chief wouldn't do.